All right, all right, all right. Thank you, Music Posse, for leading us in to tonight's live stream episode of Real Living in Bolingbrook. For all of you who are watching this either as a live stream for perhaps the first time, let me give you a big old welcome. Yeah. If you have caught this before, some of our previous episodes, and you're watching tonight as a live stream, welcome back. If you're getting this on demand, so hey, whatever time you're watching it, right? For you late birds or early morning people, welcome to you as well. Doesn't matter what time it is. The beauty of technology is we can give you this content when you are ready to feel it, watch it, and hear it. So with all of that said, let me add my co-host, Greg, into the conversation. Here we go.
Hey, Bill, how are you?
I'm doing well. You?
Good.
The weather has absolutely changed, right, for us?
It has changed. It's gotten a little bit colder. I was just talking to my wife about when, we always have a bet on when the furnace is going on, but mine is that we can make it to the end of October.
Yeah.
And very rarely can we ever do that. But looking at the weather, it looks pretty nice. I mean, 60s is pretty decent. So like right now I'm sitting here, I got my window open and it's just beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
You probably have your space heater on.
No, I don't. But we did basically shut off the ACs. I don't know, about 4 or 6 weeks ago. But we haven't flipped the switch to the furnaces kicking on. We're trying to be like you.
Yeah.
Wait until November. Push it as long as far out as possible.
Yeah. But it seems like the winter is getting pushed back. I mean, the leaves aren't even, they're starting to change, but normally it's the end of October,
right,
when all the leaves are down, and we're not even close to that.
Yeah, I know. This year it seems like the two seasons that I just always love and feel that it's always short and too sweet. Too short, too sweet, which is spring and fall. It seems like this year we're getting a nice run of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, Greg, talk to us.
Yes.
Talk to all of us about, I hear and I see your momentum helping a lot of sellers get to their next chapter. So it seems like you are just rocking it out with representing a lot of sellers. So is it a seller's market still?
It's still a seller's market here in Bolingbrook and the surrounding areas. Yeah. There's just not enough inventory yet on the market. So I had 6 listings and 4 of them went under contract pretty quick. I have 2 newer ones that were trying to get under contract, but nothing going on with them yet. But things are still moving pretty quick. A few of those were in multiple offer situation.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Let me bring up this property. I know you recently closed, just to jog your memory.
Yes.
So with this property, it certainly is a mid bracket property. Were you in a multiple offer situation on this one?
No, we weren't. And this was not really a mid bracket. The price was mid bracket, but the house was custom, beautifully built, built, home. The issue with it and why it was selling as is because the previous owner, who I was certain that they were, just destroyed the inside of it. Everything needs to kind of be gutted, but the bones of it is real good. Even the home inspector said that, the house was built very good. This one here sits on a little over 3 acres of land.
Wow.
So, yeah. And the gentleman that bought it, he and his wife have a business that they do. So they're planning on expanding some of the area for warehousing, maybe build a pole barn, that kind of thing. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. but it's a beautiful property on a beautiful street in beautiful Oswego. So, it was a pretty neat home.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice, very, very nice, very nice.
Yes.
Yeah, I could see just by flipping through some of the pictures, and then of course reading the property description. It was a large parcel of land.
Yeah, a little over 3 acres. So that's pretty big.
Yeah. So there you have it. So, audience members, you heard it from Greg. Properties are moving, and sometimes they move just as fast, um, regardless of the condition. But I think what you're saying, Greg, is location, location, location is still the driver. And of course, good bones always trumps maybe bad cosmetics, right?
Yeah, and price.
And price.
This one
Okay.
was priced out right. So that home there, when I did the market analysis for it, it was in a fixed up condition, would have been closer to $1 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
So your clients picked it up at a nice discount,
At a sweet price.
yeah, even though they probably want to put some sweat equity into it, but hey,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. But, hey, so maybe some new counters, cabinets, some flooring, that kind of stuff. But
true, very true.
It was a beautiful home.
Yeah. What else do you see on the horizon as far as real estate dynamics in Bolingbrook? Do you see that maybe inventory is just cracking open a little bit, but it's still going to be a seller's market for the remainder of the year?
It's still definitely going to be a seller's market. The inventory is cracking a little bit, but I mean, ever so slightly. Yeah. I pulled down some new numbers to give you an idea. So right now in Bolingbrook, there's 92 homes on the market. That includes attached and detached, so condos and regular homes. This time last year, there was 71 homes available. So it went from 71 to 92. Month supply, how long does it take to sell the inventory? Right now, we're sitting at 1.5 or 1.5 months. And last year, it was 1.2. So a little bit longer. Square footage. Yeah. The square foot price has only gone up over the last year, 3.6% total. So we've been sitting at $200 per square foot for the last 3 months. So it's kind of, but we're in October, so. And then the average market time, instead of it being 27 days this time a year ago, now it is 36 days, so a little bit longer.
Okay.
So things are kind of slowing down. A few more homes are coming on the market, but there's still just not, it's not a normal market by any means.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, we are still not just in Bolingbrook, but greater Chicagoland. We are still seeing a lack of good supply, tight inventory. So for all of you sellers out there or potential sellers, as they say, the time is now. It's a great time to sell, blah, blah, blah.
I saw a funny video, and it was a lady that had, it was for real estate sales, and on the bottom it said 2019, and the lady says, God, I wish I would have bought last year. And then 2020, shoot, I wish I would have bought last year. And then 21, shoot, I wish I bought last year. And every year she would say the same thing. I should have bought last year. So it's one of real estate's one of those things where you buy it or you sell it. We keep coming back to this based on family needs.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Yeah. Based on life events, you have to.
Yeah. I recently had a seller of mine. I'm going to be listing a house in Batavia, and she was saying, well, maybe I'll just hold off until the springtime, like in April, when the flowers come up.
Okay.
And it's like, the thing with listing it in the springtime, you might be able to get a couple bucks extra.
Right.
But your competition level is going to be so much greater. This is because a lot of people put their homes on that time of the market. Right. If you put it on in January or February, you don't have the competition.
Yeah.
So
And,
60
and you and you probably pick up what I call some very serious buyers
Yep.
during the off season, you know?
Yes. Right.
Yeah, I hear you. I
But
hear you.
my end conversation about that was just do what's best for your family and don't try
Yeah,
to time the market
I know.
because
Yeah.
so
It's kind of like, when you need to get gas, just buy gas, regardless of whether it's 325 or are you really going to drive out to the country to save another nickel,
yeah,
right?
right.
Yeah. So I'm right there with you. Let me move the conversation in a slightly different direction and ask you this question, jog your memory, because I think you shared that in your prior career, you certainly were in the business of delivering mortgages. Remember
Yep.
that? Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So here's my question. Jog your memory. Do you remember this database called Cavers
Yeah.
that lenders would have to kind of check and verify and check? You remember that?
Yeah, that came out at the very tail end of my mortgage career.
Okay.
I got out of doing loans back in 2011, I want to say.
2011. Yeah.
And
Sounds
I
about
think
right.
that came out like, I don't know, 2009 or 10 or something like
Yeah.
that. But
Yeah.
it was, I remember it being a real pain in the butt and was putting the information in a database to
There
make
you go.
sure that there was no predatory lending going on or something like that. I can't really
Right.
recall.
Right. Yeah. So let me add to it. Why am I bringing this up, audience members? What is Cavers? Cavers is a database, as Greg mentioned, where you have to input some information into it. The information obviously is the consumer who is sourcing financing, trying to get a loan. And what Cavers does is it takes that unique consumer information, name, date of birth, social, of course, right? Those are the three obvious unique pieces of information. And it checks it against this database to do one thing, and that is whether the consumer has defaulted or is delinquent with any, here's the mic drop, with any uh, federal or government insured or sponsored loans. So
Oh,
let me give you the short list of what falls into this bucket. For those of you audience members who may be self-employed, you own a business. If you might have taken out a SBA loan, and if you took your eye off the ball, um, didn't pay that loan in full, or worst case, you defaulted or you were significantly delinquent with it, your name would basically uh, red flag in this database, and all things would stop in the world of lending. Why? Because if this same consumer, Greg, is trying to source a FHA loan, a VA loan. Those are two of the obvious government insured
mhm.
loans. And the last one, not as common, which is the rural USDA mortgage loan. Um, Everything comes to a halt because basically the lender's like, you came up in this database. Um, we need you to catch us up on what happened, right? And if they can't make it right, no go to the closing table.
So would they have to go conventional then?
They would have to go conventional, right? But
Now,
you and I both,
let's
yeah.
say they had a government loan, but then they filed a bankruptcy. Does that go away or?
Well, the bankruptcy would show up in obviously a consumer credit report,
Yeah.
right? But this is totally something very specific. It has to do with sometimes undisclosed debt that relates back to the federal government, where the government is either a sponsor, insurer of it, and the other type of financing or loans that fall into this bucket would be, guess what? Student loans. So for all of you consumers, keep your eye on the ball, keep your eye on the prize. Do your best not to get yourself behind and be delinquent with student loans as well, especially the government backed ones. Okay.
What about PPP loans?
So they probably will come up in this as well. Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
I just offhand, I know a couple of people that own businesses
True.
that took out massive PPP loans.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah. So just something food for thought, audience members. So that way, if you know someone in your sphere or circle who's trying to source financing, and if you've heard them talk about, oh, this loan that I had, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, time out. You might want to slow down and be careful. All right. Okay. Let's shift the conversation to something you and I are hosting tomorrow evening. And that is, audience members, Greg and I are hosting our first live. Not that this is not live. We are absolutely coming to you in a live stream platform. But what we're hosting tomorrow night is a live show or webinar where Greg and I will talk about sellers, how to unlock your journey and make your move. And so the reason why I wanted to do this with Greg is because, as you have now heard, the guy is on a rhythm, helping sellers make their next move. And so for that reason, it was so appropriate for me to say, hey, Greg, let's do this live show. We'll target it toward Bolingbrook, Illinois sellers. So for all of you, by this time, as you're listening to this, you're like, hey, I want to show up for that show. And if that is what you want to do, it's real simple. Let me bring up where you can sign up. All you have to do is go to this URL. I'll leave it up for maybe longer than usual. Go to this URL, sign up, register for the event tomorrow night. That is Thursday, October 16th. Our show will start right at 7 p.m. It's short and sweet. So in about 45 minutes, you're going to get some good content. You're going to hear some of the secrets that Greg and I will share with you. And the secrets are basically avoid the mistakes that other people make. How's that?
mm-hmm.
Okay. So with all of that said, Greg, are you ready for showing up together tomorrow night?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a good time.
Yeah,
we're going to get a pretty good turnout, and you can always learn something.
True.
So even though you may know a lot about selling real estate or buying real estate, there's always the market changing a little bit, which changes everything.
Yeah. Real estate is a team sport. It's a dynamic sport. And even though you would think, oh, I kind of know what the plays are, be careful for the defense.
Yeah.
For the defense pressures that come at you, right?
Yeah.
All right. So as we wrap up, your question again is, how do you sign up for tomorrow evening's live show hosted by myself and Greg? All you have to do is go to this URL, and we will look forward to seeing you live in a different platform. We're going to be using Zoom for this live show. That way, we can interact with you and you can interact with us. So as we wrap up, let me bring up the obvious, what we call last slide in our live stream. And that is, how can you get in touch with, my bad. How can you get in touch with Greg and myself Let me bring that up. Here we go. There we go. You can simply scan the QR codes that you see here, and you will have access to starting a conversation with Greg's QR code is on the right as I see it, and then mine is on the left. So with all of that said, Music Posse, because it is now about 30 minutes that we've been doing this live stream. You've heard from us just enough audience members. So Music Posse, play us out. Greg, I'll see you tomorrow night.
Sounds good. See you then.